What is up, YouTube? Woo! Avery, come on. All right. Welcome back. This is Keen Academy. Thank you for joining me. We have a special guest star, my sister. Okay. We are going to be releasing a new video about Half-Life because Half-Life is getting a lot of people in trouble. So, here's the worksheet. My apologies for lack of visuals, but here's are some sample problems that we would be doing like on the actual quiz. So remember, if you didn't see my last video, half-life refers to the time it takes for half of the unstable atoms to decay. Remember, when atoms decay, they don't disappear, they just turn into something new in order to become stable. For example, like an unstable atom, like for uranium, will continue to decay until it reaches a more stable atom like radon. Here's the first sample problem. If you put an antique lead pencil on the table at 2 p.m. and you measure the lead to weigh 20 grams, then you check the lead's mass again at 3 p.m. and you notice the lead now only weighs 5 grams. What is the half-life of the lead? Okay, so here's a system that I always use. I always start with the starting time. So let's say 2 p.m. So 2 p.m., hold on, 2 p.m. it weighed 20 grams. Okay, and we know at 3 p.m. it weighs 5 grams. And somewhere between it hit half.
15.
What's half of 20, Avery?
15.
Nope. So if you're not sure how to do half,
10.
you do 20 divided by 2.
10.
Divided by 2.
10.
It is 10. If you want to cut something in half, you divide it by 2. Make it into 2 pieces. So it hit 10 grams halfway in between because it got cut in half twice. And went from 20 to 10 and then 10 to 5. So since it got cut in half twice within 1 hour from 2 to 3, you know that the half-life will be in between that. So that would be 2:30 p.m. So the half-life is the time it takes, the time to get cut in half. So from 2 to 3, 2 to 2:30, that's how long it took to get cut in half. So that is 30 minutes. Okay, based on your answer for the sample problem for number 1, how much will the original lead weigh before you have dinner at 5 p.m.? Okay, so we can just keep going with this. If we know the half-life is every 30 minutes, it's just going to keep getting cut in half. So you keep track of the time, and then just keep having it cut in half. Start checking my math now. Okay. And then at 5 p.m., you have 0.3125 grams of that lead left. That'll be the final answer for the next problem. That's my system. When you're starting out, the simplest way is to write the starting time and how much you have. And then every half-life, cut it in half. Okay? So here I have a table. I have this amount of fluorine over time. So you should notice the pattern is it's getting cut in half every time. If you don't know what 25 divided by 2 is, put it on the calculator.
10.
12.5. Okay. Half-life, it's getting cut in half every 30 days. And this is important. A half-life is the amount of time. That's how much time it takes. So your answer for half-life should always be in a unit of time. Days, minutes, seconds, years. That's why in the sentence starter it says fluorine's half-life is blank days. Okay. Now we're going to do a little bit of a tougher one. If the half-life of chromium is 28 days, and you start out with 510 grams, how much of the original chromium atoms will remain after 168 days? Show your work. Okay? So remember to start out, we're going to be doing days, so day 0. Let's see how much you have. Day 0, you start out with 510. Okay, day 28 is the half-life, so 28 days, it'll cut in half. And then the next half-life, you'll have to do 28 days plus 28 days. 56. So day 56, it's going to get cut in half again. And this is how much the actual chromium is being weighed. The chromium is getting replaced by a different element, and this is showing the weight of the chromium. And the idea is you keep going until you hit day 168 to see how much will be left. 127.5 divided by 2, 63.75. Okay, please pause the video now and keep going. Keep going until you get 168 days. Okay, using this method. This next one, question 7, is going to be a little bit more difficult. This one's going to require us to work backwards. Okay, a doctor needs to treat a patient's stomach inflammation using bismuth, an unstable element. The doctor needs 1 gram of bismuth to help the patient, but the half-life of bismuth is only 20 minutes. The delivery time to get to bismuth is 2 hours. What is the minimum amount of bismuth the doctor needs to order? So now we're going to start out with, at the very end, when the time is 0 minutes, we'll only need 1 gram. But delivery takes 2 hours. So we're going to have to work backwards. Every 20 minutes, it's going to need to be double instead. So 40 minutes, it'll have to be 4 grams. So keep going until you hit 2 hours. That's how much bismuth you'll actually need to order. So this one, we started with 0 grams. Instead of cutting it in half, we're going to be doubling it over time because that's how much we need to order. The last one, you'll have to use your knowledge of half-life to figure out why Joe's plan to kill Michael did not work. Okay?
Jeez.
Using CR fashion. I hope this video helps. That is my system to understand that to solve a half-life equations, you can just start with the time, how much you have. Then the first half-life, how much will you have? The next half-life, how much will you have? That's a great way to get started on figuring out how to solve these half-life problems. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with me the whole time. Have a great Monday.